Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Political Ray. We got a few stories going on. Yesterday was President's Day, and we had a historian come out on MSNBC saying that they need to cancel President's Day because we don't want to celebrate all presidents. Talking about just Trump. So anyway, we got that, and we've got President Trump had come out and talked about Zelensky and the Ukraine and Russia war, and we'll get into that. And we had some protests going on around mostly D.C., New York, and we had some news from the DOGE team about Social Security, and we'll get into that too. But first off, we're going to go into the President's Day story. This is from the Post Millennial, and we're going to get into this real quick. This is just crazy. This is just a story. Okay, this is them talking about the fact that they don't like President Trump, so we don't need to celebrate President's Day anymore, just because of the fact that they don't like President Trump. So we're going to get into this. Anyway, take a look at this. This is from the Post Millennial. MSNBC historian calls to cancel President's Day because we don't want to celebrate all presidents. And let's be fair, they should just say, we don't like President Trump, so we don't want to celebrate President's Day. That's what this is. That's all this is. Anyway. An anti-Trump guest on MSNBC called to cancel President's Day and said that the day is silly, suggesting that the holiday makes the office out to be a king. I don't agree with this. Not in the least. President's Day. Look, what was it? Originated for the birthday of Washington. I think it was. I think I'm probably wrong on that. I don't think so. Anyway, excuse me. Way too early. Host on MSNBC, Ali Vitali, asked presidential historian Lindsay, I'm going to butcher this name, Chervinsky, maybe I got it right, if she wanted to completely scrap the holiday, to which Chervinsky responded, it is a little bit silly. I mean, we have had some real duds, so I'm not sure we really want to be celebrating all presidents. Again, I'm going to make this clear. This is them not wanting to celebrate President's Day because President Trump is the president and has been the president. That's all this is. This isn't them saying, oh, we've had some duds. This is just another attack against President Trump. That's all this is. There's no other way to say it. They will do anything. They come up with anything to attack President Trump, and I mean anything. So we have a holiday in celebration of President's Day to honor, presidents that have current and former. I mean, it celebrates all presidents, but they don't like it because of the current president. So let's take a look at the clip here.
All right. So the headline here is presidential historian says President's Day is ridiculous. We should scrap it. What do you mean?
It is a little bit silly. I mean, we have had some real duds, so I'm not sure we really want to be celebrating all presidents. And the tradition actually comes from celebrating birthdays, which is a celebration that we inherited from celebrating the king. And I'm just not sure that that's exactly what we want. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that we necessarily want to celebrate the people. I think that we want to have a certain respect for the office. I totally get that. And some have done extraordinary things, but by celebrating all of them, I do think it causes us to think of the president as somehow other, when in reality they are a citizen just like everyone else.
So you mentioned this earlier in the show, the idea that Trump posted something just over the weekend.
So here we go. They're going to attack Trump.
Napoleon Bonaparte-esque, saying he who saves his country does not violate any law. It feels like exactly the example of what you're saying we should push against.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I think if we think of a president as someone to celebrate just because they exist, which is what the king was, and that's why they celebrated the king's birthday, then it does evolve into that argument that they can do no wrong.
Look, the president is capable of wrongdoing. Everybody knows that. There's stuff that President Trump does that I don't like. I mean, just an example, his both in both his presidencies, his pick for the Department of Education. Didn't care for either one of them. Now, Linda McMahon, she might do good. I don't know. But I'm not a fan. I don't like the pick personally, but she might do good. I don't know. The last one I didn't care for either. Didn't think she did a whole lot in that position at all. So maybe this one will do better. I don't know. But haven't been a fan of some of the stuff he does. Some of the stuff he says I'm not a fan of. The quote, the little truth post that they just quoted there, wasn't a fan of that. There's a lot of stuff that he does that I'm not a fan of. There's a lot of stuff that he does that I am a fan of, though. This is a personal attack against President Trump because they do not like him. That's it. It has nothing to do with anybody else in that presidency that they claim to be duds. This is just a personal attack against President Trump, saying, oh, well, we shouldn't celebrate President's Day because presidents aren't kings and yada, yada, yada. This is just them another angle of coming at him. That's all this is. And it's ridiculous. And the fact that they're doing it is stupid. But, let's see. This talks about what she said. Yada, yada, yada. Napoleon Bonaparte, blah, blah, blah. Yes, like I said, I don't agree with that post. In a post after the 2024 election of Trump, Chervinsky wrote, "The outcome was unexpected and not what I wanted," and added that she was originally registered as a Republican but is a pro-democracy voter. She later added in the post that she spent multiple days grieving that Trump won. That right there should tell you everything you need to know. She spent multiple days grieving that President Trump won the presidency. These people are not right in the head. And the fact that they're, boasted online and put on mainstream media and everything else, it's just sad. It is. There's not a whole lot else you can say about it. So President Trump was on the tarmac, and this, I believe, is right after Daytona, but he was talking to the press in a little press gaggle, and we'll take a look at what he said. This was him talking about, Ukraine, Russia, and how he's saying that, yes, that Zelensky in Ukraine is going to have a seat at the table, and that he has been talking with him and Putin. And like I said in my video yesterday, I do not care what order you talk to who in. I don't care if he talks to Zelensky first and then Putin, or Putin first and then Zelensky and then the UN. I don't care what order it goes in. I don't. It does not matter to me as long as the peace negotiations are successful and that we have, the end of the Ukraine-Russia war. That's all I care about. I'm tired of the money getting sent over there, which has stopped, thankfully, since President Trump came into office. And there's too many killings. It needs to stop. But this is him talking about it, and we'll take a look at this real quick.
Did you speak to Secretary Rubio this morning?
I did.
What is the latest with the negotiations in Saudi Arabia? What's it thinking?
We're moving along. We're trying to get a peace with Russia and Ukraine, and we're working very hard on it. It's a war that should have never started.
Do you expect Zelensky to be involved in these conversations? What will his
Yeah,
role be?
I do. He will be involved, yes.
Talking about Zelensky.
Do you allow Europeans to buy US-made weapons for Ukrainians?
Yeah.
I missed that question.
Russia is going to wage war on NATO. Do you agree with that? Do you have any concerns
No,
about?
I don't agree. Not even a little bit.
Vice President Vance said that the United States would potentially take military action against Russia if they won't come to an agreement. Do you agree with that stance?
I don't know if that's what he said. I don't think he said that.
Based on your conversations with President Putin, what do you think he wants ultimately in Ukraine?
I think he wants to stop fighting. I see that. We spoke long and hard.
Talking about Putin now.
Steve Witkoff was with him for a very extended period, like about 3 hours. I think he wants to stop fighting. They have a big, powerful machine. You understand that. And they defeated Hitler and they defeated Napoleon. They've been fighting a long time. They've done it before. And but I think he'd like to. I think he would like to stop fighting.
Do you think he wants the whole of Ukraine, or just what do you think he wants?
No, I think he wants to stop. That was my question to him, because if he's going to go on, that would have been a big problem for us, and that would have caused me a big problem because you just can't let that happen. I think he wants to end it, and they want to end it fast. Both of them, and Zelensky wants to end it too.
Yeah, they both do.
Actually happen. When do you think the fighting can start?
Well, we're working to get it done. I mean, it's too bad it started. It would have been a lot easier to end it before it started, right? But it started because we had an incompetent president that he didn't know what he was doing. That should have never started. That war was so easy to stop. Remember this, that under Bush, they took a lot. Under Obama, they took a lot. Under Biden, they're trying to take the whole thing. And under Trump, they took nothing. Nothing was gone. Not even.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there because it's kind of hard to hear, but that right there at the end when he's talking about, it should have never started. It's true, it shouldn't have. But anyway, that's he said that under Bush they took a lot. Obama, they took a lot. They went into Crimea, and then when he was in office, his first term, they didn't even bother trying to go in there because Putin knew that Trump's a wild card, and he wasn't sure what he was capable of or what he was going to do. That's still the case now. Okay, Putin doesn't know what Trump is going to do if they push even further into this war, yada yada yada. He doesn't know. He's a wild card. Putin's unsure of what Trump will do if they try to push this any further. That's why there hasn't, you haven't seen a whole lot lately from this. But he said, look, Zelensky's going to be at the table. He's been talking to both. And like I said before, I don't care in what order it happens. I don't. It doesn't matter to me. A lot of people think, oh, he should have talked to Zelensky first because he's our ally. I don't care. I don't care what order he talks to people. This is the stupidest argument I've ever heard. Anyway, let's see if it says exactly what he was saying here because it was kind of hard to hear. Speaking on the tarmac, Palm Beach International Airport, blah, 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 Sunday afternoon. Trump said he is currently in the process of trying to get peace with Russia and Ukraine. We are working very hard on it, he said. It's a war that should have never started. When asked if Ukraine President Zelensky is expected to be involved in the conversations, Trump replied in the affirmative. Well, duh. Look, I agree with the fact that if Zelensky and Ukraine are not at the table, then there shouldn't be talks, period. I agree with that. But why would you not have them there? That's stupid. It's another dumb argument. Of course he's going to have Zelensky at the table. He's talking to both of them. Maybe not right at the same time as of this point, but that will happen. They'll both come to the table and they'll both talk, yada, yada, yada. It's not going to happen just talking to one side and then the other. It's not going to happen that way. They'll both, at some point, they both will come to the table and they'll discuss terms and figure it out. He will be involved, yes, Trump said. When asked by the reporter, Trump also said he would allow Europeans to purchase American-made weapons sold to Ukraine. Don't know about that, but anyway. The Republican president went on to say that he believes Russian President Vladimir Putin, who began the war in February of 2014 with the annexation of Crimea and escalated in February of 2022, invading Ukraine, wants to bring the war to an end. I think so too. He's lost. There's been significant losses on both sides. I think both sides want to stop the war. I think he wants to stop fighting. Trump said they have a big, powerful machine. You understand that, and they defeated Hitler. They defeated Napoleon. He's been fighting a long time. I think he would like to stop fighting. Maybe that's true. Maybe he does want to stop fighting. Maybe he's just a dictator that wants to take over, countries. I mean, there is the whole thing of, Russia believes that Ukraine is part of Russia. So Zelensky wants to end it too. And he does, obviously. Not a fan of Zelensky. I think he's taking American money and just, doing whatever he wants with it. But that's just my opinion. There's no facts behind that. That's just what I think. So anyway, we'll go ahead and move on to the protests. There's protests happening in New York and D.C. on President's Day yesterday in protest to President Trump and his DOGE team, as it were. And I don't know why. And it still boggles my mind that people are against the fact that Elon Musk and the DOGE team, because and a lot of people say, oh, is this what you voted for? Yes, this is what I voted for. It was not a secret. I've said it 100 times that it was not a secret that President Trump on his campaign trail said that he was going to use Elon Musk to weed out corruption and mismanagement in the government. It's what I voted for. I'm completely on board with Elon Musk rooting out corruption and misuse of American taxpayer dollars. I'm not against it. I'm fine with it. And I'm okay with him being in the IRS. A lot of people are you okay with him being on the IRS and having access to your Social Security and everything else? Yes. The guy's in charge of PayPal. How many of you are okay with him having your, personal information in PayPal? Doesn't make sense. They say one thing, but they really mean a different thing. Anyway. So this is this right here. This is the protest in DC. There was a lot of people in old Brian Krastenstein, however the hell you say his name. Excuse me. He was talking about the fact that there's thousands of people in DC and there's thousands of people in New York. And I think there was one in Denver, but that didn't look too big. Anyway, he was saying on X that mandate my behind, and I saw that and I'm like, you know what? DC, I mean, yeah, I believe it was a mandate because he got the popular vote. He got the electoral college, swept all the swing states, as I called it. And then, but it's not a mandate. That's BS. Because you look at the elections, Republicans don't get the popular vote. It just doesn't happen. Does once in a while, but it's rare. For him to get the electoral and the popular vote, that in my mind is a mandate. Anyway, 3%, I think it was that President Trump took DC. DC is just full of Democrats and people who hate President Trump. That's just the reality of it. That's fine. President Trump didn't take DC. He lost those. Like I said, I think it was 3%. Don't quote me on that. I think it was 3%. But that would explain why there's thousands of people in DC protesting. So we'll take a look at this. This is just a quick 16-second video, but this is just the people protesting in DC. Again, like I said, it boggles my mind to realize that there's people out there that do not want the corruption and the mismanagement of government to come to light. They're okay with it. They don't care about their tax dollars being spent on crazy stuff overseas, not being used to benefit the U.S. in any way at all. It blows my mind that people think that way. Anyway, this is New York, and we'll take a look at this one real quick as well.
We the people defend the Constitution. We the people defend the Constitution. We the people defend the Constitution. Yeah. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what. Sorry.
They don't sound very enthused to me. What do you think?
United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
That guy did a little bit.
Stop us now. Stop us now. Stop us now.
They don't sound enthusiastic to me. And look, New York's. Look, these people here, they're not even chanting. They're just walking down the street. Anyway, New York's another place where he did make a lot of ground up from the previous election as far as New York goes, but it's still filled with a lot of people that don't like President Trump. And that's just the reality of it.
You're pretty beautiful. You're beautiful.
Stop cool. What? He was elected. Text. Look this sign over here on the bottom left that said tax the rich. I've said this 1,000 times before, and I may not be able to articulate it very well, but I'm going to tell you right now. So the rich, they say tax the rich. The rich need to pay their fair share. The majority of the one percenters, as Bernie calls them, the billionaires and millionaires. The majority of those people, they back Democrats. The same people that say that the wealthy need to pay their fair share, they have the same people that back them during elections and everything else. So tell me, this is a question that I've raised to myself. I've asked other people. Tell me why it is, if the Democrats are so hell-bent on making the wealthy pay their fair share in taxes, then why do the majority of the wealthy back the Democrats? Because they don't mean what they say. It's a talking point that they've used for years. Ever since I can remember, they've used this same talking point about making the wealthy pay their fair share, but the wealthy are still backing them because they don't mean what they say. They're not really wanting to do that. It's a talking point, like I said, that they've used for years, and people who don't use critical thinking or don't think about it past what they hear on CNN, they just roll with it. But it's been a talking point for years. And if they really were that passionate about it, they would have done something about it by now. That's all I'm saying about that. Anyway, so Social Security, DOGE got into Social Security, and this is just something I want to show real quick, okay, before I wrap this up. This is insane to me. Now, let me get this over here. There we go. Now, this is a chart. This is from Elon Musk. According to the Social Security database, these are numbers of people in each age bucket with death field set to false. Meaning, okay, I'm just going to break this just in case anybody is confused. I think most people is pretty straightforward, okay? But anyway, just in case somebody is not unsure about what this is saying, a death field set to false, meaning they're not dead, okay? That's what that means. So, you got the age range plus the count is the people. Take a look at, so you've got 100 to 109. There's people that live past the age of 100. I'll give them that. You got over 4 million, 4.7 million people. Okay, yeah, people do live past 100. I'll give them that. 110 to 119, maybe it's possible. I guess. But 3.6 million? I don't know. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Okay. 120 to 129 years old. 3.4 million? No. There's no way. Look, I'm just saying, if you're living past 120, it's not going to be that many people. Well, how many people have actually lived past that age? It's insane. This is 140 to 149 years old. 3.5 million people? No. Look at the 150 to 159 age. 1.3 million. There's no way. There's no way that anybody's living that long, especially in today's age. 160 to 169, you got 121,000 people? No. Look all the way down at the bottom. You got one in the last two categories for the age of 240 to 249 and the age of 360 to 369. Who are those two people? I'd like to meet them. I'm not even gonna lie. If there's somebody who's living past the age of 360 years old, I want to meet him. I'd love to meet that person. Look, you got 220 to 229 years old. Over 1,000 people? Come on now. Come on. And look, you can tell me all day long that you can say, oh, Ray, these are numbers. Some of these people are receiving benefits from somebody who has passed on and yada, yada. Okay. Not that many. No, if you've got a spouse who does happen to live over the age of 100 and their spouse who was on Social Security, who has passed on, you're not going to have 4.7 million people receiving benefits. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. And this is the kind of stuff that people are, like I said, people out here protesting. This is what they're protesting. Why? Why are you not okay with DOGE finding this stuff out and exposing it. That's all I'm saying. But that's all I got for this morning. I hope y'all enjoyed the rant. You can follow me on Rumble, and you can subscribe to me on YouTube, and you can also follow me on X at The Political Ray. And thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it, and y'all have a blessed day.